Hey, good morning. I am Dr. Rajesh Kashyap. Today I am going to talk about the cloud computing. This subject I am going to teach into the third semester for MCA, the syllabus which is designed by the University of Pune, and it is newly designed syllabus for this particular batch. So the syllabus has been designed in 2019, and for this 2020 this is been firstly we are going to cover up in this particular semester. So this is the new syllabus which we are going to cover into the cloud computing, right? So today I'm going to talk about the basic fundamental of the cloud computing, the syllabus which I am going to cover in this particular, and we have to go through with the what is the objective, what are the outcome we are going to get from the this cloud computing syllabus, and we have to understand that how this syllabus will give you the benefit of learning of cloud computing, right? So these are the things that we are going to cover up. The first we have to look into the syllabus, and accordingly I will discuss about the cloud computing. Okay, so just opening this. Yeah, so this is the cloud computing syllabus which is going to be covered in this 2020 for first time to the this MCA second year third semester student. So how this is the cloud computing is going to cover up, or first we have to understand that what exactly the cloud computing. So cloud computing is nothing but a system which is going to give you the features of usage, means it is utilization based a system. Means what? When we are designing, when we are working, when we are developing something, we require some hardware and the software. So when we are looking for hardware and software, then it is asking for more investment. So when we are starting any business, we are not having that much of funds to make an investment because we want to focus on our business, right? So when we want to focus on the business, how we are going to start with the systems? So we require application, we require software, we require hardware, we require manpower to handle these things. So these are the things that is going to be taken care by the cloud service providers. So that is what the cloud computing, and whatever the services we are going to use, those services is only going to be charged by the cloud service provider. So that is what the cloud computing exact. So this is what this course is for 4 credit, wherein internal assessment of the 30 marks and the external assessment of the 70 marks by the University of Pune in the form of written examination. So how we are going to assess this particular internal examination or internal marks of the 30? So that is what we will take care of these things in the term of, like, we are going to conduct the MCQ test, unit wise MCQ test. So there is a 5 units, so you have to cover up with the 5 6 unit MCQs. Then we will have a short form of some form of assignment. So that is what you have to do your assignment and give submit to the for the assessment of your assignment, or either in the form of online, either it is form of offline. So that is what it is going to depends on the situation. Then we will have a internal examination, means pat examination and prelim examination. So these are the things. Other than that, what we have to what I suggest to each and every student, that they must have to enroll to learn more about the cloud computing on the NPTEL or the Coursera courses, so that you will get more information. Whatever the syllabus is there, we will cover up into this particular, but you have to learn something more, because syllabus is a limited edition, limited things that we have to cover up as per the university expectation. But when we are talking about the cloud computing, we have to learn a lot. We have to think of that what new changes is going on into the cloud computing. So that is what the assessment part. Now we have to understand the description of this particular course is, and what is the course objective. So what is the prerequisite to learn the cloud computing? Basic computer networking you must have to understand. If you don't understand that how computer is working, how it is connected with the network, how data is being transferred, and how data is being used, how it is going to be maintained, how it is going to be developed, update, and all, then you don't have. Then, if you are not knowing that, you are not going to understand the concept of the cloud computing. So that is what the prerequisite for the learning cloud computing, right? So what is the objective of this particular course? To introduce the fundamental of the cloud computing, its technology, challenges, and applications. So we have to understand that what is the cloud computing, what are the different technology, what are the challenges, and the application which is going to be used into the cloud computing. To give the insight into the virtualization technologies and the architecture. So that is what, again, we have to understand the virtualization, hypervisor, and all into this, and what are the different architecture is going to be covered. To know the relationship between the cloud computing and SOA, so we have to understand that what is the agreement, service oriented architecture. These are the things that we have to understand whenever we are going through with the cloud computing. So there is a relationship between the cloud computing and service oriented architecture. Then we have to go through with the very evaluate cloud security issues. So whenever we are using any kind of concept into the cloud, we have to understand what are the security measures, how the security measure is taken care by the cloud service provider, and how we are going to address it, and what are the things that we have to keep into the mind whenever we are using cloud computing. Then apply the theory or to practical knowledge through the case studies. So we have to go through with the case study, we have to handle the situation, real time situation, and accordingly we have to suggest the solution to the different case studies. So that is what it is expected into this. So we will use AWS, we will use Amazon, Microsoft Azure, or the Google Cloud, so that you will understand the implementation based system of the cloud computing. So that is what the objective of this particular course. So what you are going to learn into this cloud computing, once you are going to finish, this is what first objective of this particular course is: describe the concept of cloud computing and its service model, deployment model. This is understand level. Means the rubrics is understand mode. So you have to understand the what is cloud computing, what is the service model, and what is the deployment model. So that you are going to learn, that you are going to understand whenever you are going to finish this particular course. Then second objective is classify the type of virtualization. So you are going to understand that there are different types of virtualization that is going to be covered into this, and that you are going to understand. So what kind of virtualization we have to adopt for different situation. Then describe the cloud management related cloud to service oriented architecture. So we have to understand that what is the cloud management, how it is going to manage, how it is going to be service, how it is going to be metering, and all everything that is going to be understood by the students when they are going to finish this particular course. Interpret moving application to the cloud. So this is what how my data is going to be transferred from local machine to the cloud service provider machine. How we are going to access, how we are going to manage, everything that is going to be covered into, and that you are going to understand while using AWS or Azure or the Google Cloud or different whatever we are going to cover up, right? Then demonstrate the practical implementation of cloud computing. So definitely when we are learning this cloud computing, we have to use it. Unless until we use it, we are not going to understand that how cloud computing is working on the system. So that is what we are going to learn when we are going to finish this syllabus. So now we have to move to the what syllabus we are going to cover into this. So we have to move to the syllabus details. The first unit is the fundamental of cloud computing. So overview of cloud computing. Uh, a fundamental of cloud computing. So Here we are going to cover up the history of the cloud computing. What is the cloud computing model given by the NIST? Then cloud stakeholder, the cloud users, end users, characteristics of the cloud computing, benefits of the cloud computing, what are the limitation of the cloud computing, different challenges, applications, and cloud computing, cluster computing, grid computing. These are the concepts which we are going to cover up into the first chapter. So the weightage for this particular chapter is 15%, and number of sessions which is given by the university is approx 8 sessions. So it is going to be more detailed understanding about fundamental of the cloud computing in the unit 1. Then we have to understand this with cloud computing into the chapter 2, wherein we are going to talk about this different cloud service models. So what are the different service models? So whenever we are using a cloud computing, we are using a different models. So what are the different models are? So services as a software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, anything as a service. So we have to cover up different kind of services which is being provided by the cloud service provider. We have to also understand the what are the different deployment models which are being used. So there are public cloud, private cloud, community cloud, hybrid cloud. So we are going to deal with, we are going to learn with that how it is going to be differ from public cloud to the private cloud to the community cloud to the hybrid cloud, right? So then we have to understand different cloud platforms. So what are the different platform which is being provided? Even Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure, Salesforce, AWS are different examples that we are going to cover up, so that we will understand that what are the service provider and how they are providing, what are the difference between the different service provider. Then the unit 3 is going to talk about the virtualizations. So what exactly the virtualization? Virtualization means it is going to be thinking like we are having, but we actually didn't. We don't have. So we will understand that how virtualization is being maintained, because we are the cloud service provider are providing the services to the multi users. So they are using the virtualization, they are using the hypervisor concept for sharing their infrastructure platform or the application to different users. So we have to understand the characteristic the virtualized environment, types of virtualization like server virtualization, storage virtualization, network virtualization. We will understand the virtual machine, we will understand the VMware, their pros, their cons, everything that is going to be covered. So we will understand the different technology which is going to be used and which is being used into the cloud computing like Zen, VMware, Microsoft Hyper-V are some of the examples that is of the virtualization. So we will understand their architecture, their system, their way of working, their pros, their cons, everything that is going to be covered into this virtualization. Then the chapter 4 is going to be covered with service-oriented architecture and cloud management. So we have to understand what is different service-oriented architecture. We will understand the concept of the SOAs. Then we will understand that what is web services like SOAP, simple SOAP or REST protocol, different protocols that is being covered into the SOA. Then relating SOA with the cloud computing, so what is the relation, how it is going to be maintained, cloud availability, disaster recovery, pricing model, uses reporting, billing, metering using the AWS concept. So we will understand the service level agreement also, so that we will use it. We will understand the service oriented architecture, we will understand the service level agreement, and we will understand the web services, SOAP protocol, REST protocol, so that it will give you the more idea about how this cloud computing is being used. Then the next chapter is talking about the moving application to the cloud. So how my application which is running very well into my machine and I'm running on my server, So how this is going to be moved from my machine, from my server to cloud service provider server. So what are the different application in the cloud, cloud service attributes, cloud bursting, data migration in the cloud, quality of services in the cloud, and cloud APIs. So these are the things that is going to be covered into the whenever we are going to cover the moving application to the cloud. So this is what we are going to be very detailed understanding of that, how my data is being transferred, how my data is migrated from my machine to the cloud service provider's machine. So we will create our own virtual machine wherein we are going to transfer the our content, our data, our application, our system to the cloud, and then we have to set up that it is going to work in the same fashion as it was working on my machine, right? Then we have to understand, the last chapter is going to talk about the cloud security and implementation of the cloud. Then we have to understand what is the cloud security fundamentals, what are the different cloud security architecture are being followed by the different service provider. Then we have to understand what is identity management and access protocol, IMA, into AWS or Azure. So that is what, how it is going to be managed. What are the different security challenges is being faced by the users and the cloud service provider? What are the different privacy and security in the clouds, that is going to be discussed. Demonstration of the commercial cloud computing infrastructure. Then we have to also understand into this, the main is Docker and the Docker container. So what exactly the Docker is, how it is going to be beneficial when we are using a Docker concept, when we are going to use containers for developing our system. Then we have to understand the case study based on cloud computing concept. So we will cover up a different case study so that you will understand in what kind of scenario, what kind of cloud service provider is going to suggest you, how they are going to manage, how you are going to manage in that particular situation, so that the user is going to use your system from the cloud service. So these are the basic things about this particular syllabus that is going to be covered into this cloud computing IT-34 from the this semester for the NCA second year student. So this is what the overview of the this syllabus, and we have to understand that we are going to get the thorough knowledge of these things, and we are going to get benefited, so that once we are going to finish this syllabus, we will be in position to say that I understand the cloud computing, and I am able to handle the cloud system, and I'm able to transfer my data on the cloud. So these are the things that you are going to get benefited if you are going to learn this cloud computing concept. So I think I'm clear to everyone that what are the content that we are going to cover into this cloud computing syllabus, and now we have to understand their applicability. We have to understand the assessment pattern that already I have covered. So we have to go through with the MCQs unit wise. So all 6 unit is going to have a MCQ test. So you have to understand and you have to give the answer to the MCQs. Then I'll make a questionnaire for your unit wise, so that you have to give a 1 or 2 questions for each and every unit. So you have to write the assignment and you have to submit in the online format or the offline format. It will depend on the situation. Then we are going to conduct the PAT examination and the prelim examination for your assessment, and we are going to give more weightage on the online courses related to the cloud computing. So you have to join NPTEL course or Coursera courses, so that you are going to learn more about by your own, including with this particular syllabus. So you are going to get the more thorough knowledge of this. So thank you very much for having a patience to listen my words related to the cloud computing and their syllabus and their content, and the assessment pattern which is going to be covered into this semester for MCA second year, third semester for cloud computing subject. Thank you. Thank you very much.